Hi, and welcome to the Overland Report. I'm Greg Howe, your host. This is the inaugural episode of what we hope will be a weekly series where we discuss things related to overlanding, full-time travel, new gear, new vehicles, and so important, public land issues. So please stay with us for this first episode and see what kind of things we come up with to tell you about. Welcome back to the Overland Report. Our first topic today is a hot one. It's wildfires. Yes, they're burning across the United States. Right now, there are approximately 39,000 wildfires in 2026 so far. They have burned over 3.6 million acres, and there are 77 active fires at this moment. The five largest ones are the Babylon Fire in Utah. It is, 106,000 acres, and it's 50% contained, and it's destroyed 5 buildings so far. We then have the Aspen Acres Fire in Colorado. It is 99,000 acres, 36% contained so far, and it has consumed almost 900 buildings or structures of some sort in its wake. The Cottonwood Fire is the third. It's in Utah. It's 97,000 acres. It's 77% contained, and 185 structures have been lost in that fire. The next one is the Ferris Fire, and it is in Colorado. It's 64,000 acres and 43% contained, and no structures lost in that particular fire. The next fire is the Gold Mountain Fire. This is also in Colorado. It's 36,000 acres, 12% contained, and 5 buildings lost. Now, of those fires, we know that one is lightning. The Ferris Fire started from lightning, and all the other ones are undetermined at this point, but the Aspen Acres Fire could be human linked. And we don't have any information on that yet, but that seems to be the highest possibility at this point. We'll just have to wait till all the investigations are done. Other things that are worth noting is within the last 72 hours, we have had 322 new fires across many jurisdictions, not just federal lands, but all small fires that are in state lands or on local communities that have open areas and stuff like that. And of those, 15 are rather large. The other ones are all under 100 acres, and most of those are presumed to be put out. Matter of fact, yesterday while driving through Idaho, I saw 3 fires that had been extinguished, but they weren't reported on any major news or anything that I could find except for local news. Nothing on the incident report or anything like that, or watch duty. And so there are fires out there that don't get reported. They get put out fairly quickly. They're only maybe 10 acres, an acre, less than 100 acres, and they don't get reported. So anyway, wildfires are the big threat this season, not only from the fires themselves, but from the smoke that they generate. It can really ruin your weekend or your plans that you have for the following or the next week. So just be aware that you need to check things like watch duty to see where wildfires are, and then you need to find yourself some kind of smoke map. USA Today has a good smoke map. I'm not sure how accurate it is. You also, if you have Gaia, you do have a way to have a 24-hour forecast for smoke and a 48-hour forecast. I'm not sure on awnings if that works, but I believe that they have a layer for smoke as well. So make sure before you head out that you find out whether there's any fires in the area you're going to, or if there is any smoke that may cause you some problems while you're out enjoying yourself in the off-road community. Our next topic for the Overland Report is also on fire. What I'm talking about is 21 through 25 model years of the Jeep Wrangler and Gladiator. There's a problem with the electronic hydraulic power steering unit and wiring. It may cause a fire even with the vehicle turned off. So the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is telling people to park those vehicles outside. Do not park them in your garage or right next to the house. And also, if you're going out camping with them, don't park them right next to your tent, and try and keep them away from any grasslands or forests that are highly flammable right now. The recall is available on the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's website. You can go in there and punch in your state license plate number or your vehicle VIN number and find out if your vehicle is one of the ones affected by the recall. And as of July 9th, the first recall notices had just been mailed out. So if you are affected by that, please find out so you can protect yourself and your family. In more positive vehicle news, we have the Winnebago ARKA, which has been released, and it is built for backcountry adventures. This is a new model for Winnebago, and it is a highly durable and versatile adventure truck engineered for real terrain, real weather, and real independence, according to Winnebago. And I have a link down below if you want to go see a video on it, find out what the interior, exterior looks like, and some information, facts about it. This is definitely for your high-end Overlander. Also, for the high-end Overlander is the new Rossmonster Loft. This is a kind of a combination van truck that's been released. It is a new direction for Rossmonster, who has been known for their large off-road vehicles and campers. And this new camper combines more luxury into the overlanding experience and allows you to still get off-road, maybe not as far as you might with some of their other vehicles, but you could still disperse camp with it. And so this is another luxury vehicle for Overlanders. And again, I've got a link down below. You've got to a video if you want to look at it and see what that one is. Also new is something more in line price-wise with what most Overlanders might be able to afford, or at least emulate, and that would be Overland Expo's ultimate off-road overlanding vehicle, which they picked this year, the Nissan Frontier Pro 4X. It's not a concept vehicle, but a vehicle that shows what the Frontier can do and what kind of loads you can put on it and things like that. I've got a link down below for information on that if you're a Nissan enthusiast. And also from Nissan, if you haven't seen yet, it looks like the Xterra may be coming back in 2029. It will be a hybrid vehicle, and it will be back to give us another option for an SUV that is off-road capable. Next, let's tackle some issues on public lands. First off, on the 13th of July, the Trump administration rescinded the 1996 and 2016 Grand Staircase and Bears Ears National Monument lands by about 90%. And so it's changed those designations, but how has that really affected what's going on the land? Well, really, not much. Places that have had road closures, those roads will remain closed until a new travel plan is developed. Places you could or couldn't primitive camp are still that way. Recreation in the area won't change much until the BML and Forest Service change their recreation plans. So if you're planning a big time, go out into some of these new areas where the National Monument protections have been rescinded, doesn't change a whole lot. So don't get too enthusiastic or think you can run out there this coming weekend and do something that was prohibited under the National Monument, because the actual underlying rules haven't changed yet. So just be cautious, enjoy yourself out there. Just don't get yourself in trouble by doing something because you think a rule has changed. This particular item is going to be in the courts for quite some time. Environmentalists, off-road enthusiasts, other recreational entities, the oil and gas and other extraction conglomerates, the state of Utah, and many other interested parties are going to be tying this up in litigation for many years. So it might take a little while before things change on the ground. Other travel news, or I should say travel management and travel management plans that you should probably be aware of is that Trail Canyon Travel Management Plan in Utah is BML land. It's being proposed to take over 470 routes that are currently on that land and designate them as open, limited, or closed. If you're interested in those areas and those routes and you want to keep them open, please make sure you get to the comment page before July 22nd and make your interest known. I'll put a link in the description so you can find that. Also, the Dinosaur North Travel Management Plan, also in Utah, is under review. This is for Dinosaur National Monument, Eastern Daggett County, and Northern Uinta County, if I said that correctly. It's about 700 miles of existing roads and 345,000 acres. Again, if you want to try and protect roads from being closed or route that you use or like in those areas, please get to their comment page before July 22nd and make your interest known. Again, a link down in the description that will lead you to that so that you can make your comments. Upcoming travel management plans, 3 of them are going to be taking place. They're also in Utah. It's going to be the Loris River area, the Book Cliffs area, and the 9 Mile Canyon area. They are not currently open for comments, but they will be sometime in the near future, and I'll keep you up to date on those when they are ready. Thank you for watching the first edition of the Overland Report. Hopefully it provided you with some information or at least piqued your interest in something. If I made a mistake or misspoke about something, please feel free to put a note in the comments so that I can correct it on the next edition, and then come back and see the next edition. Make sure that I did correct it or find out something new from that one. We would like to see you next week, and I look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much.